Guys, it's CJ, putting out another video. The video is called The Circle. And the reason I'm putting this video out is I kind of remembered something that I learned a long time ago, but the learning of it, I realized, at least for me, was incomplete. And the whole theory is this, that, and I'm going to have these little graphics coming up. So, you are basically a circle, and within your circle is all the experiences that you've had and all the knowledge and skills that you've gained from those experiences, and that's this circle. Okay, now you go along in that circle, and sooner or later something comes that's outside your circle, something that you can't do, and you may decide to take that challenge on. You may decide to blow it off and say, like, I'm not doing that. I'm not facing that. I'm not doing anything. Eventually, though, because life seems to work this way, something else comes along outside that circle that maybe you really do want, that you're just willing to go through anything to go get. And what happens is, as you can see in this next graphic, that the circle, you don't expand only that much to get that one thing. You actually expand the entire circle. Your entire circle grows. Now look, there was maybe one thing that you wanted outside that circle originally, but now when your circle expands, all these other things are now available to you. You can see there's more experience within the circle. And then you're pretty cool, like, hey, that felt great, I like that. I'm gonna go, hey, now I'm up for challenges. I want something outside my damn circle because I grow and I feel awesome. So maybe you do that again, and you just see this one thing outside your circle and you go get that, and now your circle expands again. And now all these things that were outside your circle are now within your circle. Now you're just got all this experience and all this awesomeness, and everything is cool, and you're growing and you're happy and you're fulfilled. And that's the whole theory behind the circle, that you grow exponentially. And that exponential growth leads you to a place where you are able to just do more things and enjoy more life and take on more challenges. And it feels good. Growth always feels good. So that's the circle about growth. But one of the things I want to tell you as a way of focusing you on this whole growth thing is this. It works the other way. And this is the one thing I haven't heard from anybody yet, but it has been my experience, is it works the other way. And what do I mean by that? Let's say there's something you're doing and you're doing it consistently, and it's not only outside your comfort zone, you're doing it, but it's grating. Or you go through a period of some kind of tragedy, and your response to that tragedy, or your response to this change, or your response to this challenge is to shrink. To kind of guard yourself. What happens is, as your circle shrinks, not only is that one thing you're kind of shrinking from now outside your circle, but so are all these other things are now outside your circle. And that's so important, because what happens is, this kind of ties into a thing I did earlier. This is how things like depression and anxiety and stuff get hold, because it's not only the one thing, it's all the other things that kind of mirror that one thing are now outside your circle. Now, I am not saying that there's not going to be times when you should kind of shy away from something, when you're just simply not ready for it, when it's going to cause actually maybe more harm than good. If you're in fitness and you decide, I want to lift heavier weights, and you lift a weight that you can't even lift and handle, you might get hurt. So it's not about like accepting every single challenge. Your circle is gonna pulse as your life, but the pulses should always be growing at the end of the day. Because here's the real danger. You look at this final slide. Let's just say you don't hold that in check. You don't continue to pulse that circle. You allow it to start shrinking. There's gonna come a time when there is so much more outside your circle than is left in it. Then that's going to lead you to an experience of life where there's very little fulfillment, very little joy, very little happiness, and very little hope. And that's just so important, because, there's a kind of a thing where Tony Robbins does a thing where it's like hope versus expectation, where if you say to yourself, well, I hope that's going to happen, and how that feels, it's like very kind of passive. And where if you say I expect it, then you kind of feel like, I'm going to make this happen. There's kind of a good aggressiveness that comes up. And that's all valid, but the truth of the matter is, without hope, nothing else is possible, because hope is the holding of a possibility of something different. It may not even be better, but something different. But without that possibility of something different, nothing else can be. So hopelessness is definitely a sickness, and is definitely a thing that can turn you into, that can shrink your circle smaller and smaller and smaller until your experience of life is simply one of survival. And this can happen to everybody at levels of survival that I wouldn't ever even want to experience, and there are people that have an experience of life that I would love to have, where they have all this stuff available to them, all this money or all this fame or fortune or looks or physicality or whatever it is. They have all this open to them, and yet they're not experiencing it, because whatever it is that their circle is saying, there's either a dissatisfaction or a imbalance where they're not seeing all that's still available to them, and their circle has shrunk anyway. So let's take that last circle, the last one I showed, and say, wow, you've allowed things to shrink so far, and there's almost nothing left inside your circle. Well, if you can be grateful for what those little kind of 4 dots that are left inside your circle, if you can start to look at that and say, I still have something, then you can, now you're on that path of creating hope. Because if you can create gratitude, gratitude engenders hope. Because if you're grateful for what you have, then you already have hope for what you can have. And now you can start building, and now you can start looking around outside your circle and say, what's the thing I want to expand and grab? And then your circle's going to start expanding again. And it always comes down to that. It always comes down to that personal choice to make that decision to go do that. And if you feel like, everybody can feel like they have nothing, and I have felt that way. But I can tell you this without question. If you can smile at a stranger and watch their face, you'll realize you don't have nothing, because you can offer that. And I've seen it where all I did was smile at somebody, and all they did was look at me like, you just made my day. And I've actually been told that by people, you just made my day. So it's not about having some sort of resource that you have to give to somebody that's going to make you feel better. Sometimes it's just listening to somebody, or saying hi to somebody, or waving at somebody, or allowing somebody to get in front of you in traffic. It could be anything that you can do. And that's going to start expanding that circle again, and then you're going to feel that growth and that fulfillment, and at the end of the day, you're going to feel that joy. This has been a challenge of mine since I've been back in New Jersey. The summer was amazing. The fall has been a little bit more challenging, because it's summertime, you're out and about and you're constantly having your perspective change, but fall you start to kind of be inside a little bit more. And one of the things I did realize is that as much as I kind of see myself sometimes as a lone wolf, and there's nothing wrong with that, even wolves have a society, a social edge, where they need to pack and they need to be together. And for me personally, I feel that I have to make sure I add that into my life, because it's just not a good thing for me to be too often by myself. And that again comes from that awareness of what it is that fulfills you. So take care of yourself and check out those challenges that are just beyond your borders, and see if there's something that you can really try to step up to. I'm telling you, you start expanding your circle, and you're going to feel so much better about the possibilities of your life. And not only that, the possibilities of your life, but the present moment of your life, which at the end of the day is all we have. So I'm wishing you guys all the best. I will get some videos done about music. Obviously, right now I'm experiencing some challenges, and I'm hoping to get those out of the way as soon as possible. My benefit at Grover's Mill this coming Sunday may be more talk than music, but we're just going to have to see. Okay, so take care of yourself, guys. Stay healthy, stay fit, stay strong, stay friendly. Why not, right? Take care of yourself, and I'll talk to you soon.